I like the music.
Da-na-na-na-na. Kevin said I stole his banjos when he was on. I like the banjos too, though. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. We got 100 people here when we just started. How amazing is that? I am Kat, the nurse flipper, if you do not know. Back from the storm. He survived. My co-host, Rod, picking and punching. And these two below me, you should know. They have both been on multiple times before. Below me is Jake, JRide flips or picks or like all of the names. He's like Kevin. And then Catty Corner is Dagny from Flying Pig Thrifts. So I am going to make these two big for you guys. Let them introduce themselves. Miss Marcia is in the chat. Guys, I say it every week, but follow Marcia at Red Cardinal Treasure. She helps me so much, and I really appreciate what she does. So let me let Jake introduce himself.
How's it going, guys? I'm Jake. I've been selling on eBay for 3 years now. Been doing it full time, almost the whole time.
He doesn't say much. Okay, here's Dagny.
I keep it short, but that was really short. My name is Dagny. I'm Flying Pig Thrifts. I have a YouTube channel here, Flying Pig Thrifts, and I sell on eBay and whatnot twice a week.
Perfect. You guys are just they're both like short and sweet. That is it. Kaput, done. So we are all here. We are all okay. I did not get much from Milton, which is what I was expecting. Rod, I think, got quite a bit. He had an interesting ride. All right. Yep. So listen, this is the first time, like, we got a super chat at 2:00 in the afternoon. So Stephanie, Thank you so much. Stephanie sent a $1.99 super chat, and she has a couple of questions. I'm going to get those up. We're going to start it off with the super chat. I'm not going to blind you all. It's a little too early. So let's do this one. Here you go. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's see what Stephanie's question is. Stephanie says she's been a part-time seller for 15 years, selling a variety of items in her store. Her employer closed her business in April, and she's decided to give reselling a full-time shot. So how did you all ramp up your stores with inventory to increase daily sales?
Sweet. Yeah, these are my types of questions. So so this is actually an interesting situation you have, because now you kind of have to go full time. So the advice is a little bit different. So I owned a pest control company when I first discovered reselling. And what I did is I spent all of my time in my pest control company, and then over time I would do eBay stuff. And then I started to make more money on eBay, so I spent a little bit less time in pest control and started to delegate that to other employees, and then spend more time in eBay. And then I started to decide to sell off chunks of my pest control business as I ramped up the eBay business. Because you're kind of forced into it per se, what I would do is I would focus on, if you have a death pile or if you have a direct sourcing method where you're able to get a ton of items and you are disciplined, I would always focus with the fastest selling items first, get those listed, and then when you have time, go to a lower tier sell-through rate and then a lower tier sell-through rate until everything's gone, and just always be listing the fastest moving items as quickly as you can.
List every day. I list every day when I first started, and then you get more attention in your eBay, and like he said, go through piles. Like, and now what I'll do is, because I do mostly whatnot, and then eBay is kind of second tier to me. But what I would do is just look at it and go, okay, just list this till you clear that pile, and then move on to the next thing. But if you lit them, I felt when I was just doing eBay, if I listed every day or listed a certain amount every day, even when I went on vacation, my store, you could still buy from it. I would have things preloaded that I could have new listings out while I was on vacation, just to keep your store more occupied and busy.
Kat, is this the one that was Haskell full-time right now?
What do you mean?
Is this the one you were saying that because of their employer, the job, they have to go full-time?
The company
Okay.
closed. Yeah, she
Okay.
said that the business closed, so she has to go full time. Yes, that
Stephanie,
was like
first and foremost, thank you. Now, I would say when I decided that I was going to go full time, me and my wife, it was actually right around COVID time, and I pretty much was already full time with stuff, but I knew when I was going to go full time, we were in the process of buying a new house. I had to wait for my house to close and stuff like that. So I started ramping up. Yes, you can list as much stuff as possible on eBay, do that, but the biggest thing I think you need to focus on is where you're going to be able to find inventory, because that was a big thing I focused on. I literally bought out. I started buying out, do a lot of private picks, buying out a lot of collections. So I had 3 to 6 months of inventory in a death pile because I knew I was going full time and leaving my other job. So I knew I wasn't going to have that income. And that at that point in time, the reason I did that was it was right around COVID time, and I didn't know COVID was going to come back. They're going to shut everything down again. So I wanted to make sure if I was going full time at that point, going all in, that I had plenty of inventory to list, even if something just happened. We just got hit with a major hurricane in Florida right now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to source for the next couple of weeks, with everything going on. So you want to make sure that you either have a lot of contacts that you can get new inventory from. You make sure you're networking with other resellers. I have people at the flea market I can reach out to. I have other resellers I can reach out to. I know people out of state I can reach out to if something happens in your state. These are really important things that I think a lot of people don't consider or think about when you are full-time, because you never know. That hurricane the hurricane before this one just went all the way up the East Coast, Georgia, all the way up to Virginia, Tennessee. So a lot of people got hit, South Carolina, North Carolina. So the biggest thing is you want to make sure where you can get a lot of inventory if an emergency happens, especially when you're full time. So that was the biggest thing for me. Getting the inventory, then you just find ways to be able to list as much as possible, and you'll be able to ramp up pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. List. You kind of were thrown into it, so like me, if I was thrown into that situation, I would probably be spending like 12 hours a day on my store because I knew I needed that income. So you just need to list. Jake is always big on sell-through rate. I keep saying I'm going to be, and then I'm kind of laissez-faire about it. I'm not going to lie. Because I like what I like and I have the space, so I can do it, I'm putting this up here after I said that. Dumpster Diving Duck is always trying to get all of you to drink. Okay, that's the goal here. So now, because Jake is on here, the drinking game tonight apparently is you have to drink every time somebody says sell-through rate. Yeah. What was it last week or the week before?
With Kevin, it was probably at any rate.
I don't. What? Oh, it was every time we played the Kevin super chat.
Yeah, we saw
That's
Kevin's
what it
butt.
was.
Yeah.
Every time we saw Kevin's butt. So, speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and show you Kevin's butt. Here you go. All right. Thank you. If you don't drink, don't start drinking because of my podcast. I would feel absolutely horrible. That is the last thing that I want you to do. Please do not start drinking because of my podcast. Be like, well, once upon a time. All right. We also have a new member. This is earlier as well. I wanted to tell you guys because last week I told you I hadn't scheduled anything because we had the 2 back-to-back hurricanes. So I did live shipping yesterday. If you missed that, you can check that out. We are doing store reviews this Thursday. So now is a really, really good time to join membership. And I'm doing live sourcing Saturday. So all 3 of the benefits are this week. So now is a really, really good time to join the membership if you have not. And this is my favorite thing to play ever because I love sea turtles. So here you go. All right. Miss Karen says, I know it is hard, but I've been preparing for fourth quarter is here, guys. We are in it. Like, we are dead smack in the middle of it right now. My eBay store is not selling stuff at all. So what is happening? I'm going to feel like you're going to get ready to drink. Go ahead, Jake.
So there's a lot of different factors that come into actually, selling things on eBay and actually selling any product or service across any industry, and that is you have to beat your competitors. And the way that you can beat your competitors is by having better photos, better titles, better return policies, better shipping and handling times, and better items. The best items have a what? Get your glasses ready. The best sell-through rate, right? So if you are focusing on Frank Sinatra CDs and you have the best price and the best photos and the best shipping, but there are only 2 people looking for that every 90 days and there are 1,800 listed, the chances of you selling your CD are less than 1%. But if you have an item that there are only 2 listed and 1,800 people are searching for, it's going to sell significantly quicker than that. So a lot of people think that Q4 is magical, and it is, especially if you have new items, but most of us here are traditional, used condition resellers. And so what's going to improve your Q4 is if you can find items that people are actually looking for, instead of improving your current listings or listing more stuff that people don't want.
He's gonna see what he said.
So another factor, Jake made really good points on those. Sell-through rate's going to be huge for that. Also, too, like we just had back-to-back hurricanes on the East Coast. 2/3 of the U.S. population is on the East Coast. So if you are, and I'm not sure where you're located, but if you are on the East Coast in one of those affected areas, a lot of times people that buy items from you are going to be buying in your region because the shipping is going to be cheaper. You're not buying. Yes, you can buy stuff from across the country, but more times if you're searching from highest to lowest, the lowest shipping cost is going to be in what region you're in, because it's going to be regional based. So if you're on the East Coast and you're infected in one of those affected areas, that could be playing into your Q4. Also, too, depends on the items you're selling. During the Q4, you usually see an increase in video games, new items, toys. These are things that are very hot for the holiday season. So if you're selling just used clothing or store or mall items, stuff that just your bread and butter stuff that you can sell all year round, you're probably not going to see a huge increase in the Q4, where other people like video game stores or toy stores will on eBay, or cameras or things like that. Electronics also have a big increase during the holiday time, but it just comes down to what you're selling, and that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree. Q4 is not like this magical time that stuff's just going to start selling. If you don't have stuff people want, it's never going to sell. It doesn't matter if it's Q4 or Q1 and the same thing if you have stuff that people want, it's going to sell no matter what the quarter. I have always been like a steady seller, so I never see a giant jump in Q4. My sales tend to stay about the same because I don't. Because there's a kid hiding back there. Look, he knew too. As soon as he did it, he knew. So because I don't sell the toys. I don't sell a ton of new stuff. I don't sell a bunch of stuff that could be seen as gifts, but my sales still stay the same because I still have the same type of item. So like your regular stuff is going to still sell, but don't expect more sales if you're not listing more popular items or more items that are going to be in demand in Q4, like those Christmas, toys, stuff that can be seen as Christmas gifts. Add the word gift to your titles. I would say that. I do that quite a bit. Like stuff I'll put like dad gift or golf gift, or, if it's something that somebody that likes hunting, I'll add the word gift in there too. And yeah. So Miss Dawn says, I have never ended and relisted because I'm not sure how. My concern is losing the pictures to my listing. Do you have your pictures saved somewhere to do the relisting?
I do not. So I experiment. I run a few experiments in my eBay store throughout all the months and years that I do this. I do markdown sales, and I also go through periods where I do delist and relist. And I don't think I've ever had an item stay in my eBay store for more than a year. So I've never run into the issue of possibly losing the photos. But I hear people that have items that have been in their store for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. And in those cases, I would suspect that eBay isn't going to hold on to those photos forever. So I've never experienced this issue. I do delist, relist from time to time, and I've never experienced that. So I don't even I list all of my photos on my phone, and I have the setting toggled to not save the photos on my phone. Just the second that they're taken and posted on eBay, they're deleted. So
You can end your listing and your pictures stay there. It goes into unsold things. I do it all the time to like brighten up the pictures, change the pictures, or if it doesn't sell on eBay, then I'll move it over to Whatnot, and I take copy those pictures from that listing, just put them over on Whatnot. So don't worry about ending your listing. The pictures aren't going to go away, and I don't save them in any place special.
So I take the pictures on my phone. After I list that, I delete my photos, but they do stay in your phone up to 30 days if you have an iPhone before they automatically get deleted. Also, if you end and sell similar, if you're ending that listing will stay there, I think, for 90 days on your unsold before it's actually removed off eBay. So you can still access that photo. Another good thing, though, too, is if you have a cross-listing software such as like Vendu or This Perfectly, that picture will stay in there forever. So it's a good way to keep your backups of your listings. If you get sick, a natural disaster happens, you get kicked off one platform, you have everything already preloaded in there that you can just quickly move to another platform if necessary.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I use List Perfectly, so all my photos are always there. But before I was backing them up, and everybody said it, like they'll stay in that unsold for 90 days and your pictures will still be there. So all you do is in the items and then go to your unsold, click them and hit sell similar. You can change the title, you can rearrange the pictures, you can edit the pictures however you want. And yeah, so no danger unless you in them and let them sit there for over 3 months. Then you are in danger of losing them. I am like Jake, like mine are deleted the minute the items are listed because I don't want to take up space on the cell phone. Brad from Black Sheep Society, I sent a super chat on their podcast and they're paying me back. That is not how it's supposed to work, just so you guys know. But he's doing it because he thinks he has to, but he doesn't have to. So here's my, this is my favorite one. Here you go. Thank you for your third installment. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. We did that one. We did that one. All right. T. Messer says, I'm trying to list a big item and shipping is outrageous. FedEx doesn't even come up as an option. The package size is 24 by 18 by 19. It's 9 pounds. How do you ship big items reasonably?
Sweet. So I ship items like this all of the time. I've shipped a ton of Bose subwoofers and a ton of different receivers and things like that actually usually end up weighing like 40 or 50 pounds as well. So there's a kind of a more advanced shipping strategy for these instances. I talk about it often and people typically get really confused. So I'll try to explain it clearly and slowly. So when I ship these huge items that are bulky, what I do is I kind of go by weight and I adjust how big I put my measurements for. So if I have something that's only 5 pounds and it's like a 18 by 16 by 14, then on eBay, I put that it's 5 pounds and then the 12 by 12 by 12 package. What that's going to do is it's going to make the shipping quote much more agreeable and better for the buyer. So instead of showing a shipping quote of like, let's say $17 to $47, it's going to show, if I do $5 and 12 by 12 by 12, it's going to show like $9.40 to $15.80. And then when they purchase the item, I put in the actual measurements and it saves them. It earns me the sale because no one wants to pay the outrageous $43 for shipping that item would have costed. They want to pay that $15. And then when I go to ship it through the eBay rates, I'm able to ship it for around $12 to $15. So it's a win-win for everybody. So what I would do in your situation, depending on how much that weighed, is for an item that big, 24/18 by 19, in my business, I put 15 by 15 by 12 measurement, and that gets it. I just know this because of where I am in the country and where all the packages go to. I just kind of have nonchalantly memorized all what the prices is for the zones, and so I can accurately guess like, oh, this is probably gonna cost like $18 if it goes to Nevada and $43 if it goes to Maine. And so I'm just going to make sure that that shipping quote that they see on eBay falls in that, if that makes sense.
You don't have to pay out of pocket for when you make the box size bigger than what you put it?
No, so before I ship it, I put in the correct measurements,
Right.
and then I print the label. So if something is
It doesn't go up
$15,
higher?
It does go up higher, but with the eBay shipping discount, you're getting up to
it's
like
still
almost a
good.
25% off discount. It's bringing it back down to where it fits around his rough estimate, which he was
Oh, okay.
originally saying.
So the person who asked this question, let's say this weighs 25 pounds. If you put it in as 25 pounds, 24 by 18 by 19, and you live where I am, then the shipping out to New Jersey is going to be like $138, and no one's going to pay for that. But if you put it at 15, 15, 12, the shipping to New Jersey is going to be like $46, somewhere around that range. And someone in Arizona, the state right below me, is definitely going to snag it because it's only going to be like $13 instead of charging them $62, which they wouldn't pay.
That's a good tip.
So I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize though too is eBay's giving the customer the non-discounted rate. You gotta remember that. So like for example, I had a Louis Vuitton box I just recently sold. It was big. It had a fit in a 24-inch box, and buyer sent me a message because I had calculated shipping on. And just so you guys know, eBay's calculated shipping is broken. So keep that in mind. It's not correct. They're going to give you outrageous quotes sometimes, especially on big items. So that's why Jake is telling you to use smaller dimensions, because at the end of the day, it's going to end up being cheaper than what it should be. So for example, like I had that Louis Vuitton box on it. I didn't realize the calculated shipping for that person was $78, I think. When I packaged it myself, put together, I thought it was going to be around $30. It came out to be $34. So I lost $4 on the package. Not a big deal at the end of the day. But I just told the buyer, hey, I can ship that for about $30. Sorry about that. So I went in there, put a flat rate shipping. That's another option you guys can do. You can just go in there and get a flat for your big items. If you don't want to use calculated shipping, just like Jake said, say, hey, it may cost me $15 to ship it the state next to me, or cross country might cost me $30. So I'm going to put an estimated shipping of 25. I may have to pay a little bit if it goes to California, but I'll make a little bit if it goes to the state next to me. So that's another way to do it. If you have really big items, don't use calculated shipping. Just get a general idea of what it may be, and then put in a flat rate shipping rate. And then that way you don't the buyer be more likely to buy.
I'm going to say completely opposite of what everybody said and tell you I put the exact measurements and I increased my weight. And I will tell you, if the items are desirable and rare enough, they will pay that shipping.
But don't you feel like you lose sales though from that? From other people that just may look at it and just not move
most
on?
of my stuff that's heavier, we're talking like higher dollar items. So you're talking like some of the heavy stuff I can think of now are like glass lamps that are worth $1,000+. So are they going to pay $150 to ship it? Yeah. Do I think I'll lose it? No. If they message me about it and say, hey, is the shipping quote right? Then I will tell them, like, if they ask, I am happy to refund it, but I do take out, for eBay fees. But I don't you too, Rod. We're in the corner of the country. Who's to say that somebody in Seattle is not going to buy it from us? If you're mid country, that's fine. Dagny's on the coast too, so we have to worry that these people are going to buy it on the West Coast. So for me, I typically put, whatever is the cheapest. Like I look at those ranges and I put whatever's cheapest, but I don't downsize the package or the weight. Because like some of the stuff I've sent has been $100, $150. So sometimes you can't ship it reasonably depending on where you live, where they live, and the size of the box. Shipping is outrageous now. I did have one, I will tell you, and if people want stuff bad enough, they will message you. If you're the only one with it, they're gonna message you. So I'll tell them like, hey, I'll give them, if there's a discount, I will give it. Like I do pass the discount on to the buyers, so they are seeing my rate, so they're not seeing those higher rates. So that probably helps a little. But some of them have been higher, and I had somebody the other day. I had actually accidentally put 8 pounds instead of 8 ounces on a t-shirt. And they were like, why is the shipping $30 on a t-shirt? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I changed it. They caught my mistake. It happens sometimes. And I fixed it and they bought it. So, I mean, that one I probably lost out on sales because I didn't realize that I jacked it up. But we have almost 8,000 items. So looking through those to catch stuff like that, I'm lucky a lot of you that watch me catch stuff and message me and they're like, hey, Kat, what are you doing? So I have extra eyes on my store, which helps. But I put the actual weight is what I do. All right. We have 2 super chats and a new member. My flipping banker sent $20 super chat, said, Kat is my hero. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. You've been my mentor for 2 years, and I finally launched my business on Whatnot, AKA Banker Girl. Congrats on that. Now working on my eBay store. So she wants to know, what is your favorite tip for beginners listing on eBay? Get your glasses ready.
My favorite tip for beginners listing on eBay is to do the research and accurately find what has demand. Don't just try to sell things because you think they're cool. And on the other side of that, look up things that you don't think are cool, because a lot of those things are usually worth a lot of money.
Yes, and then also make sure your pictures are clear. And now you can, when I first started, you only had 12 pictures maybe, and now you have 24. Show the bottom, show the top, show all the sides. Don't have jars of pickles in the background or like nasty stuff in the background. Make it look nice, make it look presentable. Pictures are what they first see. So good luck. Congratulations on your Whatnot.
Yeah, congratulations on getting everything up and going. I would say do not go out and get all gun-ho and start buying a ton of merchandise. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of new sellers do, because they're so excited to get started. And then they find out there's a lot of stuff they don't like listing they bought, or maybe they overspent, or they bought too much merchandise. I always tell people, start with what you have around the house. Everyone has a ton of, you walk through your house, I bet you could find hundreds of dollars with the stuff just laying around that you do not use, in your clothing, from your electronics, from toys, video games, from DVDs, other stuff just laying around that you guys haven't used or picked up or touched. Start with that stuff first, because that will, first off, you're clearing stuff out of your house, which is good. Secondly, you the money's already spent. So even if you mess something up, or if you start listing stuff, it's good practice to try out different categories as well. But you really don't know what you like to sell and what you don't like to sell until you start trying different things out. This is the easiest way to try things out without investing a lot of money in your business. Also, too, don't go out and buy fancy cameras. Don't go out and buy all this fancy equipment, because literally you can run your entire business off your phone. Yep. All right. You don't need to go out. You can take your picture from your phone. The only thing I would invest in is a label printer right in the very beginning, because it's going to save you a lot of time. Mm-hmm. But I mean, try to keep I always tell people, when you start out your business, you got to run very, very thin margins. Do not invest a ton of money in your business, because you don't know how that business is going to be. You don't know if you're going to like that business a month, 3 months from now. Maybe it's something people like the idea of selling stuff online, but people don't realize how much work it actually goes into it until you actually start doing it.
Yeah. So I think the key you've already done. The hardest part is starting. That, like, so many people get tripped up on actually just starting. And since you asked as far as listing specifically, just do it. Dagny's right. Clear photos, show all angles, but list. The main thing is to just list, get stuff up. She actually commented, she said, Rod, if you knew how much I've been collecting for the last 2 years, I'm going to start by what's in my home. And yeah, so definitely don't wait until almost everything you have or that's in your house is already listed. Don't end up with a ton of stuff. You're going to learn as you go what is really selling, what is not selling. You'll get better at sell-through rate. You'll get better at like eyeballing and knowing what's good. So don't like list, but don't buy. That I guess is my big tip. All right, what are we doing? Let's do the pillow fight. He's not. He's in his switch back there. Wolfman's Goodies sent a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. What are we doing? I'm doing the original. Let's do the original one. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats tonight. I really appreciate all of you. Super chat. That super chat is like 4 years old. That's the
That's like the original.
That is the original. Miss Leticia, welcome. I talk to Miss Leticia all the time over on Instagram. Well, she likes my stories. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I'm going to tell you what happens, okay? So occasionally, it just happened to be while I was getting work on my tattoo Sunday, I have time to scroll. It is very rare. So when I do have time to scroll, all of the memes that I like go to my story. So I'll go from nothing to like 15 memes in my story. Because I was sitting there for 5 hours getting a tattoo and I had nothing else to do.
I kind of noticed that.
It's like all or nothing. It's not ever like one or two. It's like I'm scrolling because I have nothing else to do. So yeah, that's me. That's how my Instagram works.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter has been doing the posts. So if you've seen the posts, those are not me. Those are Brooke that's doing like the funny bubble wrap posts and stuff like that. That is all my daughter that is doing that stuff. All right, here's my turtle again. Oh, I feel like we're in the islands. Okay. Let's see. We did that one. To add to ending and relisting an item, how often do you do this? I didn't see this, or we could have done this as a follow-up. So if you do end and sell similar, how often do you do so, or is it not something you do regular?
Yeah, before I answer that, I just wanted to say shout out to Wolfman's Goodies. He is at 979 subscribers.
Oh, we only need 21, guys. Get him to 1,000. Marsha,
so
can you get his link? Or
yeah,
one of the other
needs 21 subscribers to start monetizing his channel.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So get on it, guys. Now, to answer your question, what I do is so right now my current regimen is each morning I wake up and I launch 25 listings from my draft. And then I end listings on my 25 oldest listings. And then I sell similar with changes to the titles and prices and things like that. So typically my items that don't sell, usually they're at around like 72 days right now. So I'm just delisting those 25 and then relisting them.
What kind of things do you sell?
I sell remote controls.
Oh,
cameras.
like electronics and stuff?
Yeah, I sell everything, but I really focus on sunglasses, cameras, remote controls, stuff like that.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like I'd put like zero effort into, I just like look at it and I'm like, well, this has been up for sale for a while and I'll rearrange it and then I'll send some up. But he did a better job of answering the question. I don't really have a system for doing that.
So when I was at one of the reselling conferences, I was told by an eBay employee that after 90 days, those listings kind of go on the wayside. So to fresh up your listings, you guys kind of want to do it every 90 days. I usually, every morning, I have a system where I try to do like 5 or 10 items that are over 90 days, just end and sell similar. I feel one, it helps get my store going in the morning. And then I do all my other listings. Number two, I mean, I've gotten a lot of sales from it. It does help out. You know, I just don't end and sell similar, guys. You guys need to change up or do something that's going to help either update the photos, change the price, or do something different to the actual listing. Double check everything before you do it.
Yeah, so I do it every 90 days after I heard Rod say that. So I go through every morning and I look at my items that are ending that day anyways, because they're going to roll over and I'm going to get charged or they're going to count against my store numbers. And anything that's over 3 months old, I relist and sell similar on mine. So I do 90 days. I remember, I would say probably 75% of the time, that's my habit in the morning. I get up, as long as I have enough time before I take Dalton to school, then I will go ahead and set it up. Steve-O said Wolfman's Goodies is 11 away from 1K.
No, I think Steve away from 11 away.
Oh, Steve-O is.
Yes.
Guys, get Steve-O. Marsha. Steve-O has been around my channel since before I hit 1K. Okay, Steve-O has been here for a long, long time. Steve-O's wife also resells too. She does toys and she has a toy channel. But definitely follow Steve-O. We can get Steve-O to 11K in like 1 minute. There are 422.
No, he's from 1K. He's 11 away from 1K. Yeah, and then so let's get both these people to.
We have two of them that we can get to 1K. Steve-O. All right. Let's see. Question from Miss Debbie. If you have watchers on sale items, do you send them offers to entice them to buy? So if the item's already on sale, they pop up in your offers, do you send that out?
Yeah, so I send offers every single chance I get. So when I wake up, I usually have anywhere from 15 to 40 offers to send. And then by about lunchtime, I have like another 15 or 40. And then when I go to sleep, I have like another 15 or 40. So I'm sending out offers every chance I get. And I send 15% off on all of them, whether they've been listed for an hour or a year or however long they've been listed.
I do send them offers. I do make sure that there are watchers on them, because when they're like, you can send offers, but then if there's no watchers on there, I find that annoying, because I look at things if I'm selling something similar and I've not saved it. So I make sure like the item has been saved, that they really want, there's watchers on it. And then I definitely send them offers.
Yeah, I send offers every single day. I try to send them multiple times throughout the day. You know, part of my career, I did sales for a long time in marketing. And one thing we always talk about, the longer that lead goes without being contacted, the longer the chances for making that sale diminish over time. Yep. So as soon as someone likes one of my things or starts watching my item, I send them an offer immediately, because it's fresh in their mind. They may watch that because they're going to go look at other items on eBay and they may find it cheaper. They may find it has better photos, better condition. So by sending them an offer, they're already enticed with the item. They're already adding to their watch list, so they have some type of interest in it. I'm going to try to hit them right away with some type of offer to entice them to buy. I'd rather take 80% of the sale today than 0% of the sale tomorrow. So.
Yeah, so for me, if you don't know, my typical offer structure is anything under 3 months, I send 10%, and then 3 months to a year, I send 30, and over a year, I send 50% off. So what I do when I have a sale on, which like right now I have a sale on my older stuff of 40%. I purposely put 40% off sale because I'm willing to take 50. So my sale items get sent with my newer items, and I send 10% off on my sale items. So I do still send them. Look at that. Boom.
Yay. There you go.
Boom. We got this.
Give me an update on Wolfman. Or is he?
Yeah, what's up with Wolfman, guys?
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
Give us an update on him, please.
All right, my good friend.
I'm seeing that Wolfman, it says 1K. So
nice. So Wolfman hit it too. Me and Rod are having clicking contests right now.
As always.
My good friend Leroy, which Leroy was generous enough to fill in for Rod last week. So thank you for doing that for us. Leroy says, what do you as a reseller and content creator do to help with your mental health?
So in order to be a content creator, you have to understand that you will be told to will keep this monetized. Unlive yourself very often, no matter what you're doing. Like literally, it does not matter. You could be making content about making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and people will have a problem with how much jelly you use or why you didn't put the peanut butter on first or whatever, you know. And people will get ruthless with you for no reason. So there will always be someone questioning and being quite rude to you about what you are doing. So just realize that that is a thing. I have this, I don't know. I served a mission for my church for 2 years where I knocked on people's doors and said, hey, do you want to hear about Jesus? And had doors slammed in my face. And I got punched in the face a few times, spit on. Like everywhere I've gone, I've just kind of always been rejected. So I've kind of built up this like weird tolerance to it. I don't know. Then I did door-to-door sales for a few years after that. I've always done content. I even did content on Vine back in the day. So I'm just kind of like, I just have the personality for it where I really don't care what people say. But when I do have like those stressful days, or I do have occasional like insecure days, I just really lean on my wife. My wife's an awesome partner for me, and she's just always pushing me to be a better person in the first place. And then on those days that I am feeling a little down, she's always just there. So I focus on my wife, my relationships, and my wife's relationship, and most specifically.
That's good. He's absolutely right. They will complain about anything and things that you mispronounce. I said cream brulee, and I was absolutely just
Creme.
I know you got good engagement. Yeah,
that you
made
said
money out
that.
of Don't
But
worry.
you're right. Like any engagement, it's engagement. But it does affect me. Like I can have 20 great comments and one bad comment, and it just ruins my day. So my husband reads my comments. He reads every single one of your comments. They're not being read. He will pass on the sweet ones, the ones that he's like, here, answer this question, because he is able to distance
That's a good
himself from
filter.
it.
That's
And I
awesome.
have a real big problem, especially when you're like, I worked so hard on this video and I really think it's a great video, and people are like, you suck. So that has helped me tremendously. Like even my daughter will be like, Mama, don't read the comments, because I'll be, sneaking in there. And it just be prepared that it's not all sunshine, but I do love it. Like I love the people.
Not all sunshine and rainbows.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but you do make connections with people, and they really love your content. They aren't able. I do shopping videos, but I also do family videos, and we're redoing a house in Maine. So I have like us, and we're doing it ourselves. So we have all different things under my one channel. And so we're reaching out a whole bunch of other people. And now there's my husband. Now we're doing lives every once in a while together, and we're just meeting like a whole little group, a little community that we've built ourselves. And I really, really like that. And that's transferred over to Whatnot, that talking in that community, and they all love you. So they're not going to be like, you suck, but he is absolutely right. It's not. And the first time you get a bad comment, you'll be like, what? Like really seriously. I remember the first thing, it was cream brulee. And they're like, you said cream brulee. I can't believe it. And I was like, are you serious? I knew it was creme, but things come out. And then they just jump. People are miserable, and they'll jump all over you because they're miserable. But then there's also people that are so excited and happy to see your videos. So it's both.
So everyone roots for the underdog till you're no longer the underdog, because everyone wants to see you succeed, but no one wants to see you blow it out of the water. Keep that in mind. So a lot of things you'll see with people on YouTube is when they're a small channel, everyone's there to support you. Everyone's there. As your channel grows 5, 10, 15, 20,000 subs, higher than that, you keep going, you're going to get a lot of hate. Part of the reason that is too is because your videos start to be pushed outside of your niche market. The resale communities, the resellers know how to buy and know how to sell. They know how to negotiate. When you start sending stuff out to, when your videos get pushed to mainstream, the people that don't go yard selling, people will come on and they will literally just destroy me in the comments saying that you're stealing from these families that are trying to sell their stuff at your yard sale.
Clothes from the poor people.
You're taking clothes from the poor people. These people are trying to pay their bills and stuff. No, they're trying to clear crap out of their house. You know what I mean? Like, so I would say if you want to be a content creator, the biggest thing I can tell you is you have to be in a good mental place to be a content creator, because you open up your family, you open up your personal life, and you open up everything around you that you maybe do not know. Like even on like last week on my flipping and punching channel, I talked to my dog passed away, and I had people just, sorry,
Sorry.
but I had shit. You know, I had bad people that just make bad comments. And it was, which I get it. You know, it is what it is. But
That's terrible.
we're all human,
We are.
so keep that in mind.
It sucks. And people are definitely cruel. And it's hard when you put yourself out there. I've done so in several videos. Luckily not got a bunch of flashback from it. I am like a one hit and you're done. If you say something that is mean or cruel, you are blocked. You will never be seen again on my channel. I don't give a second chance. I don't care about the engagement that much to let my mental health be affected by you more than once. It doesn't get to me like it used to. I will say that. But I still no second chances. Some of it, if it's kind of borderline, but I will tell you, like, if you say something about me personally or my kids, you're gone. If it's something with my content or the way that I'm doing business or that I'm stealing from the poor people, I might go at you for a little engagement. But if it's a personal attack, you're never going to be seen. We do that in our chat here as well. My mods are great. I don't put up with any BS. We don't need to be mean here. It's not the place, guys. We're here to lift each other up and help each other. And if you're not going to do that, I don't want you in my chat. I don't need the numbers that bad. So, you know, sometimes you got to weigh that. As far as mental health, I've gotten to the point where, again, I mean, some of them still kind of get to me. I would say 95% of them do not. And sometimes I go back. Like I said, if it's not a personal attack, if it's something like I'm stealing the clothes, I will go back now. I'm like, I'm not taking this crap no more. I'm going to tell you what I think. But I think it's important to step away sometimes. We all need personal times. I have been going through a lot. If you know it, like we had the storms, I have a bunch going on personally, and I missed a couple of videos. You know, sometimes we need to do that, and it's okay to do that. I put out 2 videos instead of 3. And I personally love the outdoors. I will go driving down dirt road. Dagny's been with me on my dirt road.
She has a really nice dirt road to go driving on.
I took Dagny when Dagny came to visit me. Dagny went riding down my dirt road, and we saw Mama Gator and baby gators when Dagny was here.
I felt like we were in a musical, like a Disney musical.
And Jenny, her daughter, came with us too.
Plants, and it was crazy.
Yeah, so I just go driving down the dirt road. Me and Dalton will look for turtles and gators and snakes and, you know, just be in nature and kind of just, you know, recenter, refocus. And sometimes you got to step away. You got to step away for your, like, it's hard because, like, for us, this is income. You know, this is income, I think, for all of us on the panel tonight. But it's not, it can't always be about the money. It really cannot. You got to put yourself, your family, and your mental health above that. And you got to step away sometimes. So yeah, it can get serious. And, you know, sometimes people are crappy, and, you know, it does get easier, but there's always somebody still gonna, like, they will get to you. And it's really easy to be a keyboard warrior, you know, because you're not going to say that to my face. You're not going to say that to Rod's face. Like, you know, it's easy to hide behind that keyboard and not think about other people's feelings. But everybody, and I think people think like we're not human, you know, like we're doing, like, people comment, she should. And I'm like, I am the one reading your comments, not she, you know, like, I still read every comment. You know, it's not like this big team. It's me. Like, I'm just a person just like you are. So, yeah. All right.
Just to clarify, I'm not upset because people are making comments. I was upset my dog passed, you know.
Yeah.
I did pro wrestling for many, many years. You know, being in the ring, you have people will try to literally say the most horrible things at you, to talk about how your body looks, or talk about the way you move around, everything else. Like, I have a very thick skin. And if you are on YouTube, And sometimes you just have to take a break. You got to step away.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And I think sometimes, like, I know I don't do it a lot. I don't think Rod does. I think Dagny probably does more than most of us. Like, we don't, like, you're not in our personal lives that much, you know, like me. Like, I kind of keep my YouTube as business, but there are times when stuff happens that I will share it, you know, and that when we're kind of being more vulnerable with you guys, like I shared my story about like how Dalton came and we had a lot of losses. And it's being very vulnerable, and it takes a lot for us to do that if that's not something we're sharing, you know, freely and more regularly. And like me, I'm definitely like teacher mode on my videos. You see a little more real me on the podcast Tuesday nights. But yeah, just keep it in mind. Like we don't always like let people in, but that's protecting ourselves, right? Like protecting ourselves, protecting our family, you know. And I know a lot of you, like, you know us, especially if you like, I've been here 5 years, you know, a lot of you have seen this thing grow up before he was walking, you know, like, you know him, you know, my family, and it's hard sometimes to, you know, to let people in, because then we open ourselves up for who knows what. So, all right. Resale Mania said, looking forward to coming on the show. We are happy have you on. I just went on like a crazy booking spree. Rod did some too, because I realized we were only booked for this week with all of the like hecticness that's been going on in my life, and then the hurricanes. I was like, I have nobody booked like past next week. And like at like, I don't know, 10 or 11, maybe even later, I messaged like all of these people and now we're booked through next year.
Nice.
So
well, like February.
We did, yeah, we're booking for February. I did, and I'll throw this out to you, those of you that have channels. I did book for Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve is open. If you would like to come on the show, New Year's Eve. Tuesday, New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve are both Tuesdays.
You should have like rotating guests, like every 20 minutes, like have somebody come in.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What do I need? We need Rod. Here's Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
That makes me want to tattoo my knuckles. That's all that does. I'm not going to lie. Oh, did I show? I didn't show yet. Here's my color, guys. There's color on my arm. Finally. Took forever. Not just black and white. Next time, there will be a lot more color, though, so I'm excited about next time for sure. All right. Miss Elena wants to know, what app do you use with your GoPro to edit footage before you post on YouTube?
So I actually do the majority of my recording just on my iPhone, and I use CapCut. And then when I do use my GoPro, I import it to CapCut. So I use CapCut for all of my editing.
I use my phone. I use my Android, have from day one, and I use Video Maker. It's Video Go Pro, this right there. It's free, but then you can also pay for the bells and whistles. And I don't use a GoPro. We have a GoPro, but we're old. And I don't know how to work it.
You are not that old, Dagny. You are not that old.
Meanwhile, I go visit Kat, and she's like, I'm going to go swim with the manatees. I have my GoPro. Blah, blah, blah. And then she has all these like things. And Jimmy and I are like, we can't turn this on.
So with my GoPro, I use iMovie because I also do stuff from my phone, and it's just easy. And I have a Mac, so it's easy to just transfer it all back and forth with each other. And then I also use for like my shorts, I use CapCut sometimes. I'll also use iMovie, and then I'll also use captions. If you drop your short in the captions, it automatically puts a caption on all your videos for you. So if you want to do shorts.
Yeah, so I just use the GoPro app, and I import the footage from my GoPro to my phone, and then I edit with KineMaster on my phone. And that's what I have used probably for 3.5 years. I used to use another one, and then they like changed it and annoyed me. But I edit everything on my phone as well. Miss Tammy says, is there a way to limit the amount of time a watcher has to consider an offer? As you know, a pending offer prevents you from sending more offers until the pending one expires or declined. I want to say she did not say a platform here, but to my knowledge, you can have multiple offers out on the same item on all of the platforms. So if anybody knows different, let me know. You can send an offer, you just cannot edit that item while an offer is open.
Right.
Yeah. No, and on eBay, it's 48 hours that people have to accept the offer, but eBay is making a ton of changes to where if you have like 7 people watching the same item and someone offers, let's say it's $50 and someone offers you 30, someone can still offer you 40 if you haven't accepted it yet, and you can just accept whichever offer you would like to. So
I had a weird thing while we were in Maine, and someone offered me something on 2 different things, and I said yes, and then countered with the second one, and then they were fine. And then this one was accepted, the first one was accepted, and the second one never went through, and it kept saying, you have an offer, and then I click on it, and then there'd be nothing there. So I told them, I'll take it down, I'll redo it, you go ahead and offer me again. Then they offered me way lower the initial time, and I was like, that's not what I would take. And then they never got back to me, and then they never paid for the first one. So that was the only time I've ever had a problem with that.
Well, they just recently updated the app where you can send percentages, you can do an offer, you can however you want to set up, or you do multiple at one time. So I've had the same problem where it keeps telling me I have an offer.
And there's nothing there.
So it's definitely a glitch with the app.
Okay.
The app there.
I thought it was me.
As when sending out an offer, you send it to one person. If another person likes it, you can still send out offers. You'll just send it out to other people. It doesn't send it out to that original person. And I think if I'm not mistaken, after 30 days, once I don't relist, you can resend those offers to the people that were watching that item again. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. Do you know the answer to that one, Kat?
I don't. I know, like, I think it's 24 hours on Mercari and Posh. I feel like eBay sometimes gives them longer, though.
It's so long.
Well, I think it's 30 days because your item automatically relists after 30 days. And then after 30 days, I think you can resend it again. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. They say if it's on the same item that you can't.
You can't? Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think, like, people know, I know, like, if you unwatch it and then you rewatch it, then it pops up again to send the offer. So, like, if you take it off your watch list and then put it back on. So I'm not sure. I know I do want to say, like, on Poshmark. So if you're selling on Poshmark, if you don't know this, the way to end an item, if you have an offer out or edit it, all you do is edit the size. And when you edit the size on the listing, it cancels the offer on Poshmark. So if you ever need to cancel an offer on Poshmark, just edit the item and edit the size, and it will cancel that order out. All right. Hope Collectible says, I'm a top rated seller, and today for the first time I can't find an item that's sold. How bad will it hurt my rating, and how long does it take to get it back? So I want to say first, let's say how we would handle this situation, and then we can answer the question.
yeah, so there's a couple of ways that you can handle this. Some are the way eBay wants you to do it. Some people perceive as morally shady. You can do whatever you decide is best for your business. But one thing that a lot of people do is they message and say, hey, I can't find your item. Would you like to pick something out in my store? Do you want to cancel? And then when people say, oh, I'll cancel, then it's like, oh, they said they want to cancel. And so they hit buyer asked to cancel item, which is technically against eBay's policy, and you could get in trouble for it maybe one day, but you probably never will. Another thing that you can do if you want to be even morally shady is you can just hit shipped, and then it never goes out, and then they message you, hey, my item never shipped, and then you just say, oh, USPS must have lost it. Sorry. There's a lot of people that do that, and just have to follow your own moral compass there. If you cancel this, you're going to get 1 ding against your account, which, depending on how many items you sell per year or hopefully per quarter, once you are selling 400 items or more per quarter, you are judged on a quarterly basis for your sales rating. And if you have sold at least 400 items and you only have one defect like that, then you're not going to drop below standard. It takes like 0.3%, which would be like 3 or 4 transactions. So if you cancel this order, like eBay makes you sign up as the policies that you should, then you will not be dinged for this one mistake. But if you do it over and over again, then you will eventually start falling.
Yes. So I've done this. I can't find a thing, and I get panicked because we live with my inventory. And it actually just happened this past weekend. I didn't know where this basket was. And so it was an offer. So I just declined the offer and then said and then I took down the listing. But someone has bought something and then I can't find it. That's maybe happened a handful of times. And I will just say, or sometimes I've accidentally sold it on Whatnot and not taken it off of eBay. And then I'll just say, I'm being completely honest. We were moving inventory. I can't find it. Or this is already sold. Please, I apologize. And they're like, oh, it's no big deal. You can go ahead and cancel it. And then it is. He offered a customer cancel it. Because I don't really technically think that's like horrible.
I don't think so either.
Because I'm being honest. Do you want me to cancel it? Yes, they do. Like so, and plus I've sold over 7,000 items, so it's not going to affect you. But I think if you're starting out, it's going to ding your account more. And I've even contacted eBay a few times. Like, is this going to affect my account? I can't. And they're like, no. So, the more you sell, the better it is. But I'm just a little shady practice, but.
Now, Jake, I know you said it is a little shady practice, but the buyer, you have proof that the buyer said they want to cancel. So it is in writing.
It is a choice.
If eBay would ever go after you, say, hey, I reached out to the buyer. Buyer said they would rather me cancel it than offer a replacement or something different. I don't think you'll have any issues with that. The other workaround, though, the other way is you contact the buyer, you let them know, say, hey, I'm so sorry. The item broke. We don't have the item in place. I'm going to issue you a full refund. You don't cancel. You're going to tell them I'm going to issue a full refund. You issue them a full refund and say, hey, I'm going to send you a gift to make up for the problem. And then that way you just send them a 4-ounce stickers or something else, 4 ounces, and it costs you like $4 to ship it. They'll have the shipping label sent to them, so you won't get a ding against your account for that. You'll still have to pay the eBay fees on that item. So don't do it on an item that's like a couple $100 because you'll be eating all those fees. But if it's a smaller item, then that's something you could do. It might cost you $5-10, but it keeps your account in good health. At the end of the day, if you're a top-rated seller, I mean, you're working off a 90-day rolling average anyway on there. I mean, those things will fall off over time. Yeah. And you can dispute them, like especially if you live in an area that had the hurricane come through or something else, you can cancel that. And eBay shouldn't give you a ding in regards to that if you do appeal it and go through that process or contact them. But I mean, 1 or 2 is not going to hurt you. What they're looking for is the repeat vendors that keep doing it over and over on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. If you have a couple one-offs, it's not going to kill your account. But find the creative ways to work around it so that you don't get those things in your account. Because if something does happen, you get in a car accident or a tragedy or something else happens where you just can't send out your items, then you're going to get a bunch of dings on your account. So you just want to make sure your account's always in good standing, because if that ever happens, or like Jake had a problem with his post office at one time where your items weren't getting shipped out and the proper time, and they weren't getting scanned, and then you were getting dings against your account. So you just always want to make sure your account's in the best standing, because there's going to be factors outside our control that you're not going to be able to handle.
Yeah, so the first thing I do is look to see if somebody else has that item on eBay. Even if it is more than what I got, I will buy it from another seller and I will drop ship it. That's the first thing that I do. So automatically, the first thing I do if I can't find something is I look to see if somebody else has it. A lot of times somebody else has it cheaper than I did and I still make a profit, which is kind of funny. So drop shipping could be a legit business, by the way. And then if not, I do what everybody else said. I tell them they can pick anything else from my store. I do give them like a 25-30% more value. So if it's $20, I might tell them I'll give them 30. like anything up to $30 in my store if they would like, or if they prefer I cancel, and then there's your buyer requested cancel. I do not ever cancel for out of stock or damaged ever. Like that is not an option for me. And I sell enough that I could handle, like, honestly, I could handle 3 a month without hitting that, 0.3% because we sell so much volume. But I do not do that. And I was bad. We missed a few super chats. We've got 3 super chats sitting in here that have been there. Marcella sent a $5 super chat and said, what are the steps to start a YouTube channel? And she's asking if I do a class on that.
Yeah.
Start filming.
Yep. Yeah. So I recommend learning a lot through YouTube. So if you want to learn how to sell on eBay, go to YouTube. If you want to learn how to do YouTube videos, do YouTube. I like vidIQ and Think Media, and Think Media's slogan is you just got to press record, like you just said. So, but yeah, like go seek out knowledge from other creators. And then the best thing you can do is like be a part of this community. So you're already kind of letting people know that you may be starting a channel soon. And then come into this. This is the best place to do it is Cat and Rod's little live that they do every Tuesday. This is like a really huge part of our community. Get to know people here. And like we just barely got 2 creators to 1,000 subscribers today. So you just gotta record videos and put them on YouTube and then get people.
Don't go fast though. If I do shop alongs and you learn to go real slow, the slower the better, because people will complain. You're making me dizzy.
Yeah.
And then I have I'm very active on Instagram, and so whenever I drop a video, I drop videos 3 times a week, and I try to do shorts every day. But Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on Instagram, I'll put the thumbnail and do a little something on the bottom. Hope you're having a great day, so people know that the video has been dropped, and kind of get you more exposure to your channel.
People always ask me, is it better to do quantity over quality? And it's actually a combination of both, because the more videos you put out, the more repetitions you get, the better you're going to get at it. So like JRide just said, just jump into it, get started. The biggest takeaway, I would say when I first started, I got the advice to try to make every video 1% better than the last one. So if you're changing your lighting, learn a new editing trick, adjusting your microphone, using a better camera, watching videos on how to create better thumbnails, better titles, whatever it is. But, you always want to keep improving your videos as much as possible. And I will tell you, it is a very slippery slope, because you can spend 10, 20, 30 hours making the greatest video and no one's going to watch it. And then you can just throw something against a wall because everything
the crappiest video.
And you're rushing around trying to get stuff done, and just throw up a video, and then it's gonna just be the best video you ever produce,
especially short. Yeah.
And you have no idea why. So I will tell you, YouTube is the biggest mind F out there. All right, that's the best way I can describe it, because
it is a worse roller coaster.
It is the biggest emotional roller coaster you will go on, because you'll have people who are going to watch your videos, comment a ton, and then the stuff that you put all this work in, it just flops. So, and to this day, that goes to the biggest creators that I know on here, and I talk to, and we all go through the same thing. So the biggest thing is just, if it's working for you, just keep doing it, keep grinding. That's the biggest thing, and be consistent, and it will come over time. But I will tell you, like, don't give up on it, because you never know how close you are to breaking that glass ceiling. I talked my buddy LL that was on here a while back, Handmade and Beyond. His first video he ever put out got 160,000 views on YouTube, and he's like, "Wow, this is gonna be the easiest thing ever." And now his videos average like 1,000 to 2,000 views like each time. So like you just never know what's gonna happen. For me, I had like 100 videos before something broke 20,000 views or something like that. Like where other people are getting hundreds of thousands of views, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like if I was stopped at 99, I may have never broken that glass ceiling, because I never knew how close you are. So just keep going, don't give up.
I think media is one that's good. I also like D Nimmin and Nick Nimmin.
Yeah,
those are 2 that I followed to set my channel up years and years ago. I like both of them, and they have a lot of good information on like the actual setup of your YouTube. I don't do it because I definitely don't specialize in that. It's a lot of work and a little bit of luck. I have not stopped. I've been doing it here in 2 months for 5 years, consistently every week. For a long time, I did daily videos. So no, I haven't. I know Becky Park on Poshmark used to do it specifically for reselling. So you might want to reach out to her and see if she still does coaching on YouTube channels for resellers. And Becky is very, very good. I just, like I said, for me, I feel like it's a lot of work and a little luck. Did I know my teacup video was going to go over 500,000? Absolutely friggin' not. You never know, like, what is gonna, like Rod said, like, you could stop one video before the one that hits. And I think that you really, you have to do it because you love it. You can't do it trying to get money. I think if you're doing it trying to get money, that's going to come across in your videos and people know if you're authentic and you're being real. I love helping people. So I'm not doing the nursing anymore, but I can help you guys with reselling. And I love teaching. That's another part of nursing as well, is, you know, teaching, helping step by step. So for me, I love doing it just as much now as I did 5 years ago when I couldn't turn the camera the right way. You know, if you want to watch my first video,
Vertical.
And the community is, and the community is amazing. Like Dagny was saying, and all of our communities are different, and some of them overlap. You know, some of us have followers that are following maybe all 4 of us here on the panel. But there are people that just watch me. There are people that just watch Rod, just watch Dagny, just watch Jake. And we have our own communities. Some of it's going to overlap, but having a community, having support, having people that appreciate what you're doing, whether it's one person or 100 people, you know, it's nice. That's why the comments are definitely appreciated. So we know that you're out there, you're getting something from our videos. And that keeps us going, you know, like, again, whether it's one person or 100 people, definitely just do it, try and get better, like Rod said. And if you really like it, don't give up. But I also want to say it's okay to give up because it's not for everybody. Yeah. If it's miserable and it's a chore for you, it might not be for you. You know, and again, that same thing will come across in a video. If you're miserable and you're doing it, and that's kind of one of my pet peeves. And I mean, I think we all feel this way, but like people that get mad because they're not getting the views is like, that's frustrating to me. Like coming and be like, nobody's watching my video. Yeah, like that really,
Why?
you know.
You know, you need to look inside it sometimes too when that does happen. But I
don't
think
want to watch somebody who complains. Like,
yeah, that too. And I think if you notice, like the people we have in these panels every week, we literally handpick who comes on here for a reason, because we want people to be passionate and love what they do. The biggest thing, because that does come across the screen. And more importantly, though, in your videos, as Kat was saying, you have to love what you do. Mm-hmm. If you don't love that, people can spot a fake a mile away. And if you're just if you're doing it for the money, if you're doing it for the fame, you're trying to do it for all these things, I laugh because you're not going to make it on here. We make very little compared to the amount of time we put into our channels. Majority of us, I would say, in that, you know, a lot of people out there in YouTube will spend hours upon hours, and they can make 10 times more money just reselling full time because, you know, if it takes me 3 hours to make a video, how many items could I list in those 3 hours? I could list thousands of dollars in those 3 hours. And would I make thousands of dollars off that video? Absolutely not. So there is a trade-off between it. We do this because we love it and gives us an escape from reselling, but also, you know, helps us build a community, helps us build a business around that.
Yeah.
Getting to the point of like complaining about people not watching your videos. My husband and I have this conversation a lot because he has watched, he watches somebody that was complaining, why are you watching my videos? And we talked about, like, there are people that we watched like 2 years ago. We just kind of, you just kind of stop watching them. Then you come back to them and watch them again. It's just kind of like you change, oh, what's he doing? Then you start watching that, and then you forget about watching these. But don't complain. Like, our biggest thing is,
and you're fishing, and then you're watching people mow yards, and
I know, but that's really satisfying. So
it's very, that Dom
like,
loves to say that. He's like, Mom, watch this. Isn't it so satisfying?
I know.
Right.
But like Kat's very informative, like very like hers are very learning, and then ours are like, we hope you enjoyed yourself, for the 20 minutes, and it had a laugh and was like, gosh, what did she pick up there? Or and especially with the house videos of like, what are they doing? Hopefully we're nailing in the walls correctly, but it just, bottom line, you have to enjoy it, do it for yourself.
And I honestly think our YouTube channels are almost like TV shows. We have, there's only so many seasons that we're going to have before that season runs out.
And then you just don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, people just don't want to watch it. I get that.
Then you might come back. You might be like,
they move on. I think Scott's channel is a big time example of that. And Scott knows that, and he's okay with that. And if you don't know Scott, I'm talking about Cha-Ching King, who is one of my best friends here on YouTube. He does tutorial videos. They are good for new resellers. Once you are seasoned, you have learned stuff, you might not watch Scott anymore, and he knows that. But there are always new resellers, right? There are always new resellers. His videos are always going to help somebody. But like, I don't want anybody to feel, and I'll tell you who told me this, and he hasn't been able to come on the show because of work. I've tried to get him on here with me again. Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter, which he's actually a doctor, if you guys don't know that. And he got a very prestigious position. I don't know if he said that publicly. Dom, don't kill me if that wasn't out there publicly. But
that's out of the bag.
Dom is the one that told me, and it really hit home. So, and I don't know if Steve-O is still in here. His super chat's one I'm going to get to here in a minute. Dom told me, and this stuck with me, because when you first start out, you have a group of people, right? So like me, Dagny, let's say me, Dagny, Rod, and Jake all start our channels at the same time. So when we first start our channels, I'm watching Jake, Jake's watching me, we're supporting each other. I'm watching Dagny, Dagny's watching me, I'm watching Rod. So what happens when I have 100,000 subscribers? I can't watch them all back. Like, I can't.
Wait,
so there comes there comes a point, and Dom is like, we can be friends. Like, I can be friends with Jake. He doesn't have to watch my content. He can tell me he doesn't watch my content. He's going to still be the same friend to me as if he did. I don't care if Jake watches my content, because I want people to watch my content that are gaining something from it. That's the point of it. Like, I don't watch anybody's content. I'm not going to lie. I don't have time. I don't. I will.
Kat, Kat wasn't even subscribed to my channel like the first 4 or 5 months I was on the podcast with her. Kat, I don't think Kat's ever watched one of my videos, which I don't care. It doesn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
But we can still be friends. You don't have to watch me. I don't owe you. You don't owe me.
Exactly.
You watch my channel because you enjoy it, period. If you don't enjoy it, we can still be friends. I don't care, because there comes a point, when you're little and you're all helping each other out. But what happens when one of you blows up and can't continue doing that? It's just not reality. And I think if you expect that, it's unfair to your friends.
Yes.
You can be friends without watching each other. So, and you can come to this podcast. Some people only watch the podcast, right? They want to come, they want to hang out. They don't watch my videos, and that's fine. And there are other people that don't like. A lot of these questions are repetitive for years. They're very similar every week. And if you don't want to come, I wish Mr. Beast watched me. Maybe I could get a shout out from my friend. But and that's the thing too, with shout outs. Like, I learned very early on in my channel, asking somebody for a shout out does not help you. Because if it's not authentic and from the heart, and that content creator doesn't really mean what they are saying, you're not going to get subs. I don't care how many hundreds of thousands of people watch it. They're like, oh, check out JRide Flips. He's great.
Well,
You
you
know-
can finagle a shout out though, and those work though.
You can finagle them. I want it.
You wanna
Speaking
hear
of
that
shout
story?
out, go ahead.
So I had already had my first video take off before this came out, but I bought some. I think Kevin's still in the chat. I bought some grape salt and pepper shakers from Kevin, and put in the notes, "Hey, my name is JRide Flips. I started a YouTube channel. I'm just wondering if you have any tips to get started," knowing that he would read it as a viewer sale on his channel.
Which is what she just did. How long has this super chat been up on the screen?
Yeah, exactly. So if you can finagle it, sometimes it works.
That's like on Whatnot when they come into your show and say, "Hi, I sell. Is it okay to promote my show on Friday at 7?"
You just did. Smooth
You just
move.
did.
I'm gonna give Marcella a super chat, but I want to put this up here because I have been telling Marcia to promote herself for a long time, and she did it. And I'm proud of her. She put her own channel link. I'm like, Marcia, you do so much for me. Do not feel guilty. Put your channel. And she did it. So please go subscribe to her. She does so much for me. When you're a YouTuber, you were a walking, talking self-promotion. I could be at the thrift store. I could be at the grocery store. Oh yeah, check out my channel. Like, I don't care where I'm at. You got to do it. So I'm glad. Marcia, thank you for putting your link. Marcella, what am I gonna do? Here you go.
Hi, I'm Goddess.
I mean, I will say, I do have my P.O. box and all my YouTube videos in the description. So if anyone wants to send me anything, I will make sure to shout you out on my channel. And Kevin had a little note here for JRide, so you could have bought something more expensive.
I think they were.
I think it's
You
called
learned from the best, Kevin.
but
I learned from Kevin.
That's funny.
Sort lowest to highest. Okay. All right. Steve-O, who hit 1K earlier, congrats. I am glad you did that. And I'm going to put them up here together. And Wolfman's Goodies, who wants me to buy Jake a biscuit. And he hit 1K as well. So both of these gentlemen did. Again, if you guys didn't check them out, Steve-O Resells and Wolfman's Goodies both just hit 1K tonight. What have I not played? What have I not played?
Kevin's butt.
Did I play the beach? Did I
Kevin's
play the
butt.
beach? Kevin's butt. Okay. Here's Kevin's butt.
The blinking eyes on the pineapple.
It never gets old.
All right. Back to your regularly scheduled show.
And by the way, subscribe to Marcia. She's at I think she's at 700 subs. So let's get her to 1,000.
We got 450 in here, technically, if you all go subscribe.
Yeah, she's moderating every week for us, and she does a lot for this channel, and she does a ton for Kat. So please give her a follow on YouTube. She deserves it.
She does. She does. She does. Marcia, we need to go thrifting again soon. All right. This is a good question. Sarah sells smalls by the seashore. I add to her name every week. Wants to know, how often does eBay cancel orders for your safety? I already shipped the items, so what do I do now, and what is this about?
So that's never happened to me before. So I would say very rarely. I've sold, I think it tells me like 11,000 items on eBay, and I've never had what you're talking about ever come up, even in the live chat from other people. So sounds pretty rare to me.
Same.
All right, so I've had it happen to me a couple times in the past. It's either, and I've already shipped out the item. So what normally happens is either like eBay flagged the credit card, or they flag the seller or their account for bad, like unauthorized purchases or something like that. What they'll do is they'll remove that user from eBay, and even if you've already sent out the item, you're still covered on that. You don't got to worry about it. Sometimes they'll even refund your money for the item after it's already been sent. So I've had that happen too, where I've gotten like the money I've actually bought something, and that happened. Of a seller got their account got shut down, and they sent me the item, and I got a refund for it. So I had it both sides. I did it for the buyer side and the seller side. So if you already shipped it, you're fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, and I've had it happen, I would say probably 4 or 5 times. And a lot of it is like the people create the account and then like something flags as like fishy or whatever. And so eBay will cancel it. Most of mine were canceled before I shipped. I think I've had a couple that were after I shipped, but I did keep the money. I didn't lose the money. And that the ones that I will tell you though, if it's canceled and you haven't shipped, that item disappears off eBay.
Yep.
So beware of that, because if it happens, that does happen. All right. What is the best way to store your video footage?
So you can buy little, not little, but they're like usually like the size of your palm, and there's even bigger ones that have like terabyte storage, 2 terabyte storage. You can upgrade the specs of your computer and have one that already has bigger internal storage. But there's a lot of ways that you can do this. A lot of people just put them onto those terabyte storage facilities, and then you can also even. So there's a creator on YouTube. I'm blanking on his name. He's that guy that rolls around New York on his longboard. Geez Louise, he's one of the biggest creators of YouTube. He keeps all of his stuff on cassette tapes because he's just super passionate about filmmaking, and he's been doing it since he was a kid. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I actually don't keep a lot of my footage. I keep a lot of it in the cloud, but yeah, the cloud or hard drives.
I don't keep mine. I put the video up and it's rolling and it hasn't been demonetized, and then I delete it.
So I back up all my. Let me take a step back. So when I go yard sailing, I have everything on a GoPro. When I get home, this is very important for a lot of people. You should do this. I put all my stuff on an external hard drive, but I put it in a folder. Like I'll put yard sale, I'll put the date, I'll put like something, but like yard sale date and say like coach purse pickup or yard sale date, like some big score I had. So just a mental note for me to have that. But that way when I go, because sometimes as a content creator, and especially in the yard sale season, or if I go to a highway sale, I'm going to get 4 or 5 days of straight footage. And that way it helps me stay very organized. And then I actually have all my completed videos. I actually have in a separate hard drive as backups. Now, once you list them on YouTube, you can always pull them down from YouTube. But if something would ever happen to your YouTube channel, like gets hacked, like Retro Rick, his YouTube channel got hacked. They deleted all of his videos on there. He did have a lot of them backed up. He was able to get his channel back and get his stuff back. But, you just knock on wood, that never happens to anyone else. But you always want to make sure this is your livelihood, this is your business. Content is king. So having all that footage, it could be devastating to someone like Kevin the Combo Picker or like Cat in her slipper here who has 1,500 videos. So I do have a backup of those. It's just important to just protect yourself.
Casey Neistat is the name I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I was thinking it too.
Okay. So for me, I do not store it. I'm just like Dagny. Once I edit it and put it up, I delete it. And the reason for that is that like my research videos and my what sold videos, they're not pertinent forever. They're not long-term content. Like people could watch them later, but really that's not what's selling now. So I feel like I could just make new videos on what's selling now. Like what I researched 2 years ago is not going to be the same top selling stuff of what's selling today. So I don't see a reason of backing it up. That's just my thought. Same thing with thrifting. If I go out thrifting last week compared to what I thrifted 2 years ago, like I'm not going to pick up the same stuff. So for me, I don't back it up. If I lost it, I just keep making videos like I do now, start a new channel, and and it is what it is. But yeah, so I don't keep mine either. All right. If you sell on Poshmark, how are your sales doing after the Poshmark fee change?
So Mercari is always changing fees. Poshmark is always changing fees. eBay is always changing fee structures and shipping and everything. And I always get these questions when these changes happen. And I see no statistical difference to my sales whatsoever, typically. So if you continue to list really good items and have really good listings, then you'll continue to sell regardless of what's going on. Unless, of course, all of a sudden Poshmark is like, we charge 80% fees. Then yeah, of course. But yeah, when they make these smaller changes, human nature is to freak out and overreact and think that the sky is falling. But it really, maybe your sales go down 5%, maybe they go up 15%. But I virtually make almost zero changes whenever platforms make changes like this.
I don't sell on Poshmark.
So I do sell on Poshmark. I haven't seen a big difference on there. Just like Jake was saying, though, resellers and people in general just do not like change. So anytime there's change, people do freak out for the first 30 days. And then what I normally see after that, it goes away. It just normalizes, and people just pay it if they have to pay it, So I don't see a big change in it in my fees. I would have to see 6 to 12 months of actual data to actually make a real assessment on there, because right now we don't have a big enough sample size for us to really tell if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, so for me, I was actually surprised because we this week have had almost all over $100 sales on Posh. And with the new fee structure, I get more money. Like I sold $180 rug on there, $150 jacket. Like I've had all high dollar sales since the change, but Posh has been crazy for me lately. I do want to say, I'm gonna type this right now. Hold on. I totally forgot this until right this second. I am posting right now, first 10 people, free month of List Perfectly up to the $70 package. They gave it to me to give away. So you have to be a new member to LP in order to take advantage of that. But LP gave me free months to give away. So if you've been thinking about cross-posting, try it. It's free, $69.99. I would do the highest plan because if you're getting it free, why not? What's up, Shagan? We need to get Shagan on here again. Shagan, message me on IG. So yeah, there you go, guys. You don't have to enter. Just click it and you get it. Like from me and LP, get a free month of LP on me if you're new and haven't tried it. All right. Patty wants to know, is anyone else getting scams from Facebook Marketplace about listings violations policies, from linens to dishes to figurine? Has anybody been getting those scams?
Just know that Facebook is the Wild West when it comes to scams. So if someone is saying, hey, I sent $400 to your Venmo, can you click on your email? Like there's really advanced what's called phishing on the internet nowadays, where people can just acquire your email and then send you emails that look super authentic. But got to be super careful. Scams are different every single day, especially on Facebook. So if anything sounds remotely scammy, then what I do is if someone's in Messenger, like I'll list something for $100 and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I want this, and I'm a struggling mother of 2 who doesn't have a dad in the picture. This will work great for me. That's usually a scam. And so I'll say, okay, that's great. Can you do 2,000? And they'll always be like, yeah, what's your address? And it's like, that's clearly a scam. They're not going to pay $2,000 for a $100 item. So there's little things you can do to uncover if it truly is a scam or not too.
I don't sell on Facebook Marketplace.
So even if you don't sell on Facebook Marketplace, they'll send it. If you have a business account on there, they do that too, where they say your account's violating XYZ, and then they'll have like a little form for you to click on to fill out to make, to say, oh, you can appeal this through here, or they'll do the same thing with Facebook Marketplace, where they'll say, hey, your listing violates this. To appeal it here, click on this, and then or they'll create their name. Their name would say like Facebook administrator, and if you actually click on the extra profile, they have like no pictures, no nothing. The account was just like recently created. So they're getting very creative when it comes to scams. I just ignore it, and just move on, because you'll get a ton of them. And just like Jay said, it is the Wild West right now.
Yeah, dude, Facebook is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have been banned off of Facebook Marketplace for years, so I cannot answer that question. All right. Wendy wants to know, is anyone else having a problem sending offers off the eBay phone app?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of address this kind of to everyone. So you're always going to have glitches and things that happen on every single app you will ever download on your phone or any website you will get on the internet. So this will be common throughout your experience on eBay, and every time you throw that out into the world, especially on the internet, someone will also have that experience as well. But just understand that it's not that eBay is an awful company. Sometimes it is, but not typically. It's not that Google is an awful company. It's just when you deal with, like, I would guess that eBay has 600 trillion different web pages of eBay. You know, like I'm in my eBay account and I can make 7 clicks and I've already opened up 7 different new pages for eBay that they have to code and manage and take care of. So you're always going to experience that on the app, on the desktop. So just keep trying until it works again.
Kate, Kat, you're frozen.
Am I still frozen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You look very sad.
we can hear you. Just your picture is frozen, so you might want to. There, you're
Okay,
better now.
I keep
There you
switching
are.
back and forth. Am I back?
Yes.
Like both my Wi-Fis are being glitchy, like my phone and the house one right now.
I think just to add to what Jake's saying, Jake is right on that, but also too, you have to remember eBay's been around. That website's very antiquated. It's been around for many, many years, and eBay has over 130 million users that use it, or like Whatnot may have like 3 or 4 million users that use it. There's a big difference. So anytime eBay rolls anything out, if it's the website or the app, it's a long process. That's why we don't have quick. Like, you want a quick solution for something, it takes a long time because there's a lot of stuff they have to do in the backside. There's a lot of things they have to do. They have a ton of users on there, and you're gonna have it. You're gonna, just like anytime there's a new ride, you're gonna go ride the ride. You're gonna see what kind of what they need to do to adjust the ride before to make it more comfortable for people. Same thing with the app. When they roll out new things in the app, you're gonna have glitches until they figure out what's the best way to change those glitches, and then 2-3 weeks later, it's running perfectly fine. Then it's just part of doing business, unfortunately.
It's kind of like you raise kids and you set expectations and boundaries, and then they glitch out of that, and you have to keep adjusting.
They don't listen.
Yeah.
I don't send any of my offers on the phone anymore because I like to see like the dates they were listed and in my SKU system, and I send them out on the computer. So I haven't tried using my phone in a while. Laura wants to know, have any of us sold something that you like so much that you shed a tear when it left?
So I am not a very emotional person outside of my business, and especially inside of my business. So no, this has never been an experience.
There isn't like a remote. You're like, oh.
No.
No, I have not shed a tear. I like this question. No, because that's why I'm selling it. Like, I usually will keep them like on my mantle. I have special things. I have stretch glass vases. I have usually have my lady head vases up there, and then little things. And then I'll be like, I'm done with this one. Like, I had an accidental cat collection, and then I sold the cats on Whatnot because I'm more of a dog person. I do have a cat, but I had enjoyed them, and it was time for somebody else to enjoy them. So everything I sell, it's time to move on to a new home.
Oh, sorry. I did forget my wife just barely started doing a lot more in the business. And I picked up a Coach bag at a garage sale for $10. And she used it on 1 or 2 dates while it sold. And then the day that it sold, it was a little emotional for her.
Oh.
So I've been selling eBay for 25 years. And many times over those years, I have either moved or I have decided that what I was personally collecting, I didn't want anymore, and sold off my personal collection. And then years later, I've gotten back that collection because I regret selling it. And, it's a vicious process. But there's 2 things I didn't shed a tear on, but I wish I still had. One is like from the like 80s. It was a Roddy Piper WWF like beach towel, and I got it. I
Nice.
think my cousin or something gave it to me as a kid, and I had it for the longest time. And I just remember going home after many years, finding it. I put it on. I'm like, oh, I can put this on eBay. I sold it for like $50.
Yeah.
Now I regret because I wish if I had that, I would still keep it. I've never seen one since. And then there was a Hulk Hogan mail away figure. I collect these WWF Hasbro figures from the early '90s, and you had to mail away. And I remember having it brand new in the package sealed, super hard figure to get. And I sold it on eBay many years ago for $100, and now it goes for $1,000
Oh,
because you can't find it anywhere.
oh
So
wow.
I regret selling it because I am never going to spend $1,000 to get that thing back. So it would have been cooler to just have my collection, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I wish I still had it.
Sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No.
The Yadro, the you didn't shed a tear with those giant Yadro things that you had.
No, guys, I'm so bad, and I know Shannon is watching right now. So Shannon might have changed this because Shannon decorated my bathroom with stuff from my store, and she remade my bathroom, and it's really, really nice. And a couple of the pieces are really expensive pieces that are in my store. So those, once I get used to seeing them in the bathroom, I might be a little sad if they sell. So she might change that. So she put art and pieces of coral, and she just made my bathroom really cool. My last Gucci box, guys. I am not attached to stuff. I am not a stuff person. If you know me, I am not about clothes. I am not about shoes. I am not about anything. I'm about people, and I could care less about. I've never carried a purse in my life. I'm not a girly girl. If you do not know me, I'm not a girly girl. So yeah, stuff to me is just stuff. So the answer for me is no.
I like that.
I'm going to answer this because it's a simple answer. Lisa wants to know if Poshmark started shipping Ground Advantage. So the only time Poshmark ships Ground Advantage is in the electronics section, and that's because there could be lithium batteries. So depending on what category on Poshmark you list your item on, you will see Ground Advantage labels. So be very careful, because don't put that in a priority box, my friends. That is the only stuff on Posh that you cannot use priority boxes. So that is your answer to that. So as long as it's not something they think has a lithium battery, it still goes priority. Hyacinth wants to know, how do you offer multiple shipping option? For instance, I saw some sellers offered USPS shipping as well as local pickup on an item.
Yeah, so when it comes to these technical questions, the best thing you can do is have one tab open with your eBay account, and then in another tab, Google your question, and they will communicate with each other. And then you usually just click on a hyperlink, and it pulls you to that spot. Man, I got something in my throat. And it will usually pull you right to that location where you can set up that policy. So you're going to do this in your business policies. I don't know how to get there from memory, but Google sure does. So in these, on these questions, you always can just type them into Google, and it'll take you right to where you need to go.
I didn't know that. Little tricks. I offer, people ask, I had Life magazines for sale, and they ask if I buy a whole bunch of these, will you bundle it? And so I say, yes, I do bundle. And you can either ask for an invoice or I refund it at the end of the, if they, usually 9 times out of 10, they don't know how to send an invoice because they're on their phone, and it's different when you're on your computer. And so then when I make the shipping label, I just refund them the difference.
Yeah,
but I'm not technical like him. So
yeah, I do the same thing because I'll Google it, because I find eBay's website to be very difficult sometimes to find the questions you want. If you just Google it, it gives you the direct link back to eBay. It's a lot easier process. Just one thing to keep in mind, if you guys ever do want to turn on local shipping, or local pickup, what happens is eBay will send you a UPC code that you have to scan. The buyer's going to have it, and then when you go to give the buyer the item, you have to scan their code. That notifies eBay that the item has been dropped off and the transaction has been complete. So keep that in mind if you guys ever do local pickup.
You can also just I've done that one time, but the other times I've just gone home and said it shipped or picked up, and I've never gotten like
Be
dinged
careful.
about it.
Yeah, because what would happen is if the buyer goes and files a claim saying that I never received the item, they could check, say, hey, the eBay will reach out to you, say, where's the
Right.
tracking, and then you'll end up getting.
Well, what the things were that I was doing, I felt fine about it because they were multiple purchasers from me, and I would just drop, like, I kind of got to know them.
Yeah.
But then the one that I did scan, she was from another state, so I was like, can I have your code? So
Yeah,
There you go.
you just gotta be careful. You know,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I mean, I've done local pickups with people in the past. I actually used to get their driver's license and put it next to the item and scan it. I take a picture of
There
it,
you
so
go.
I would have it. So because that was before eBay offered the local
the
pickup
code,
back in the day, so that's what I would do. But you just gotta be very careful with that because most of the time people are gonna be super cool, but just to protect yourself, especially if it's an expensive item.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone said it, but in order to add the local pickup, you have to be on a computer. You can't add local pickup from your phone. You have to be on a browser, and then there's just a little checkbox that you can add it. I only add it to like really big or really expensive items. I don't add it to the majority because I don't want somebody coming here to pick up a $10 item. I just I'll ship it to you. And honestly, with the price of gas, like it's gonna cost you like $5 if you're that close to me, anyways. And with gas and time, that's how I look at it. So as far as like having them both, you do need, and freight is the same way. I get people that ask me that a lot because I do the furniture sometimes. Freight is the same. You cannot add it from your phone. You have to be on a desktop in order to add freight as well.
I think that's how I actually found your channel back in the day, Kat. Was
Furniture stuff?
Yeah, one of your U-Ship videos.
Yeah, I only have one, I think.
Oh, well, that one then.
So definitely, yeah, I know exactly the one you're talking about.
JRide just said you taught him everything he knows.
You
Talk
taught me
about
everything
shipping
now.
furniture on U-Ship, and then the price went through the roof, and then it was a hot mess. So if you're enrolled in international shipping, do you exclude any shipping locations? If you do, why?
So like if you have a political or moral compass for multiple different reasons, then you can. I don't exclude any part of the country. If people want to give me money, I'll take it from them. So any part of the world, I mean. So I don't have any of those places like secluded, taken away. So
I am enrolled in the international shipping program, and I do not exclude any shipping locations because, like you said, why would you? And it's so much easier now. They used to ship to close by. It was like Kentucky because I'm in Pennsylvania, and now it's Illinois, I think.
mine's Illinois as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
Illinois,
so I think that's like
yeah, that's where their central shipping hub.
Yeah,
is
I just
at.
sold something that went international, South Korea.
I have a crazy international shipping story I'll have to tell you guys another time. But the good thing about eBay's international shipping is anytime that there's any type of like embargo or anything that we have any type of conflict international, they will update the sites, the countries that you can and cannot sell to. So you don't have to go in there and adjust anything. So any country that I can ship to, I'm going to ship to and sell. But just like JRide, money's money. At the end of the day, eBay will go in there and adjust things. And they have done that multiple times in the past. Where there's certain countries I used to ship to that I can no longer ship to because of conflicts in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not excluding anything. Everybody's money's good in my store. I'll take it. Even if I don't like you, I don't care. I'll take your money. All right. Miss All Right with Me. How do you put stuff for sale that people need right now due to the hurricane? I have a lot of stuff like pots, pans, and household things.
Just get them listed. I'm not sure if you're asking kind of a more
like keywords or something.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think the hurricane stuff, I mean, obviously there's plenty of pots and pans and household things, so I don't think you're going to be able to price gouge. So I don't think it's going to be like COVID with toilet paper.
What they're really looking for is like generators and stuff like that. Like generators, that's what they're really going to be worried about price guard. But like normal household food. I mean,
It would
household
just be
items.
regular listing. Yeah, just the same as anything else.
Kat, you have a major lag right now.
I have major sucky internet right now.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
You know. All right, here. Read this question. I'll try. I'm on my phone internet. I'll try switching it back. Read this question.
If you have a shipping fee, also free local pickup, what searches does that come up in? And can you search for items nearby in all categories?
Yep. So when you search on your desktop or your phone, there's these things called filters. And so you can filter all items within 150 miles, 50 miles, 5 miles. You can set how far away you want those items to come from. So a lot of people will actually do this not because they want local pickup, but I sell a lot of 100 CD disc changers. And if those travel more than 500 miles, the chances of them breaking is over 80%. So a lot of people that want these, they will set like only 200 miles away to increase the likelihood of the unit getting to them in working condition. So there's a lot of different things you can do.
Yep.
Yep, same what he said. Pretty much you can search. You can just search the buy items just located in the US. You can do all North America. You can do international. There's a lot of things you can search. So if you only want to buy domestically, you can do that. You can just, break it down by region or by distance. There's a lot of things you can actually do in there if you actually dig down deep.
Yeah, I think everybody covered it.
Yeah.
Kat, you're frozen now.
You're frozen with that same picture from before. How'd you do that?
Oh yeah, it's the exact same photo.
That's
Exact same looking down.
Well,
That's
I'm
a
just gonna
wrestling
hide
podcast
and
face,
talk.
all right?
Just do that
Can you
because
hear
then
me?
your face blinks when you have
Yeah,
this
that's
emoji
fine.
show.
I'm just hiding for the last 5 minutes because I'm so frustrated with my internet right now. As long as you can hear me, then I'm fine. Gretchen wants to know at how much would you cash out on Mercari?
So for me, it's different each time. It usually depends just like on a lot of different factors, like what I need money for, how fast or slow sales are. If you want to maximize fees on like an instant payout, then it's a 2% for an instant payout. So if you have $101 or more, then it now becomes worth it to do the instant payout because it's more than, it would be less than 2%, which is $2, right? But then like a lot of people that resell part-time or full-time. So one thing you can do is like you can say, okay, my car payment is $360. I'm just going to try to make enough money on Mercari every single month, and all Mercari money only goes to my car payment, and then you can just wait for it to hit your 360 and then cash out, pay your car payment. It's just, it all depends on what your life goals and business goals are.
I don't sell Mercari.
You don't sell Mercari. Yeah, so if for those that don't know, Mercari charge, I think it's a $2 fee, JRide, for cashing out now.
$2.
Yeah. So it's a $2 fee. So what he's talking about here is like for example, if I sold something for $10 and I want to cash out my $10, well now I'm going to pay a 20% fee because I have an automatic $2. There's an automatic $2 processing fee. So if for me, I keep that money in there. I don't need that money in my Mercari account. That's just supplement income to my business. So I usually wait till I get a couple $100 before I do that. It's good for Mercari because that keeps the money in their account, which they're getting interest on it and making money on the backside on it. But at the end of the day, for me, I don't cash out stuff that's under $100. It would have to be over $100 to make it worth it because Mercari has no fees now for sellers. They pass those fees on to buyers, but sellers are paying a $2 processing fee regardless of when you cash out. So
it's not like on eBay where they just send you your payment. You can just hold it there on Mercari.
Yeah, you can hold it. You decide when you want to cash out
forever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, as someone who has been kicked off Mercari,
what is going on?
I've been kicked off of
no Facebook, no Mercari.
No, I have Mercari. I sell on Mercari. I got it back. But when they froze my account, they froze my money. So after that, I was originally doing $50. And I would recommend not letting it get high, like Jake said, just because if they do freeze your account, they will freeze the money, and it took 3 months for me to get that money back. So just beware that can happen. And but now that they have the $2 fee, my threshold is $100. So I'll wait till I have $100 and then I'll cash out. But yeah, like, I mean, it's been years since that happened. I've been back on Mercari for years with no issues at all. And I went back to Mercari because I got kicked off of Facebook. I've been kicked off of everywhere, guys. I'm just bad like that. But yeah, so I would say $100 is what I would recommend. Just like I said, beware. Like they said, it was like that I was selling something fake. It was something really ridiculous and stupid, and they just locked my whole account and froze my funds, and they held them for a very, very long time. So
90 days.
Beware, they can do it.
And
Yeah,
also,
and
just
I
wanted to
had, in
add-
order to get that money back, I had to file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau to get my money back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's nuts. I also
But
wanted to add-
luckily, I was smart then, and I was like, I would cash out at $50 because that was when they didn't have a fee. So I think I had like $57 in there, which really wasn't a big deal, but it was still my money. You know, that was my big thing, is like, this is my money. And then they ended up apologizing to me. They sent me like a big apology letter, reinstated my account, relisted all my listings. It really was just like a giant misunderstanding, but that can happen on any platform, guys. You can get kicked off. Like I got kicked. I am a rebel. I really am a rebel. But I got kicked off Facebook for license plates. My mom was listing license plates. Facebook sent her a warning that they were against policy. Somebody asked about that earlier. My mom ignored the warning. And I know. I see you're frozen now. All right.
We're not.
It's
you're not frozen.
9:59. I'm gonna make everybody big, and then I will try and come back for the end. So hopefully this works. So here is Jake.
Hey guys, I don't like the whole self-promotion thing, but a lot of you guys already follow me on JRide Flips. I also have a second channel called JRide Picks where I do live sourcing, and I also do a ton of retail arbitrage that some other creators don't do, so it might be something you guys might be interested in. I also have a podcast called The Reseller Island, and one of the latest episodes I actually had my beautiful wife on with me that people have really been seeming to enjoy. So if you want to check out that episode in particular, the Reseller Island podcast, you guys can see my wife, and yeah, we talk about a lot of good reseller stuff. So thanks for coming and watching.
Perfect. Here's Dagny.
It's so big. Thank you very much for having me on. You can follow me on Flying Pig Thrifts here on YouTube. I drop videos 3 times a week, shorts practically every day. And my husband and I are redoing an abandoned house we bought in northern Maine. So if you like those kind of satisfying watching things change from, oh my gosh, to beautiful, be sure and check out that those videos there. And I'm also sell on Whatnot and eBay, and I am active on Instagram. So I hope to see you around.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
I just dropped a brand new video on my picking and punching channel today, so go check that out. I went to the flea across Florida with Mike the Death Pile Picker, so that is up and pick up a lot of good items. Tomorrow, a lot of people ask me how the hurricane was, stuff like that. I'll be dropping a video on my flipping and punching channel, talking about the hurricane, showing you guys a lot of the damage, stuff that's happened to the area here. So if you guys you're interested in seeing that, tune into that tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Whatnot later this week, probably this weekend. I'll be back on Whatnot, and then tomorrow night I'll be live on District with the Commonwealth Picker. We're doing a t-shirt sale, so come check that out.
T-shirt bros.
T-shirt bros.
T-shirt bros. Next week is going to be fun, guys. We are going to have Carrie American Arbitrage along with Dawn. His other half, Lady Arbitrage, will be our 2 guests next week. They have been on before, so super excited to have them on. Thank you to Jake and Dagny. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, John Doe, for subbing. I appreciate that because of the house.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that's the thing, guys. You don't have to watch all our videos. Maybe you just like Dagny's house videos. So just watch Dagny's house videos. I will have a high dollar what sold video out tomorrow. So if you like my high dollars, just my $50 and up sales for the last 2 weeks. And then on Friday, I keep forgetting what I researched. Like my brain is mush. I don't know. Surprise.
Yeah, hurricane brain, Kat. It blew away.
It's
Away.
it like went away with one of the two. I don't know.
Mhm.
I appreciate all of you in the chat. We had almost 500 people in here tonight. We can do it without you guys, but it's much, much better with you. So we really appreciate you guys being here. And Rod, I'm glad you didn't blow away and
Yeah.
or float away, and you're still here. You're still here. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next week. Check out these guys' channels. The links are down in the description, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.